You have decorated your room, you have bought the rug, you have hung the art, and it still sounds like you are living inside a tin can. That's not a furniture problem, that's an acoustics problem, and nobody ever told you it existed. Think about the last time you were on a phone call in your living room. Your voice bounced around like you were standing in a gymnasium. You sounded hollow, echoey, like you were far away even to yourself, or you put on music and it never feels right. It sounds thin in one corner, harsh in another. You turn it down because it's somehow both too loud and not full enough at the same time. You sit down to relax, and the room just does not let you. There are tension in it you cannot name. It does not feel cozy, it feels exposed, like the space is too awake. You have blamed the paint color. You have blamed the furniture arrangement. You have bought through pillow and candles and plants, and still something is off. The room looks fine in photos, but living inside it feels wrong. Here's what nobody told you: you can feel sound before you hear it. And right now, your room is working against you acoustically, and that invisible problem is undermining everything else you have done to make it feel like home. And honestly, nobody taught you this. It's not in any interior design magazine, it's not in any apartment tour on YouTube. You are just supposed to somehow already know it. Here's what almost no one tells you about room acoustics. The fix is not expensive, it's not technical, and it fits beautifully into a home that already looks good. Point 1: understand what actually happening. Sound reflection. Hard surfaces reflect sound, every sound in your room. Your voice, your TV, your music shoots out in all directions and bounces off every hard surface before it reaches your ears. It arrives twice, one directly and one after, bouncing around. That delay, even a fraction of a second, creates echo and harshness. Your brain processes is at noise, not comfort. Most modern rooms are echo chambers by design. Bare floors, painted drywall, large window, glass furniture. Every one of those surfaces is a mirror for sound. The fix is simple in concept. You need to interrupt those reflections. You need surfaces that absorb sound instead of throwing it back to at you. Point 2: the rug is your most powerful acoustic tool. If your floors are hard wood, tile, laminate, they are your biggest acoustic problem. Sound hits the floor and ceiling simultaneously and creates a bounce pattern that makes rooms feel loud and restless. A large area rug does more for your room sound than almost any other single object. Not a small ancient rug, a large one. It needs to cover the main sitting area, not just sit under the coffee table. The thicker the rug, the better it absorbs. A flat, thin rug barely helps. A plush, dense rug changes the entire character of a room. You will notice it within minutes of putting it down. The room will feel cuter, not because it is quieter, but because the echo stop fighting you. If you already have a rug and the room still fails too live and harsh. Add a thick rug bed underneath it, double the absorption without replacing anything. Most people never fix this, which is exactly why their rooms never feel rough. Point 3. Your walls above the sofa are doing nothing for you. The wall directly opposite your mind sitting area is one of the biggest sound reflection surfaces in your home. Sound from your TV, your speakers, your own voice, it all hits the wall and bounces straight back at you. Bare painted drywall reflects up to 99% of the sound that hits it. That's not an exaggeration, it's essentially a hard acoustic mirror. Hanging art helps, but only slightly and only if canvas, fabric, and unframed prints absorb it. The real solution for that wall, a gallery arrangement with fabric wrapped pieces, a larger tapestry or woven textile, or even a collection of unframed canvas prints. These are not acoustics panels pretending to be decor. They are actual decor that happens to treat your room sound. Macrame well hangings, which many people hang as a purely decorative choice, are genuinely effective at breaking up sound reflection because of their irregular textured surface. Same with women baskets mounted to a wall. The visual texture and a acoustic texture are the same thing. Part 4. Point 4. Curtains are doing acoustic work you are not giving them credit for. If you have bare windows, specifically large on a ones, they are acting as hard reflective panels. Sound hits glass and bounces back with almost no loss. Thin curtains help a little. Thick floor to ceiling lined curtains help dramatically. The heavier the fabric, the more sound energy they absorb rather than reflect. Velvet, tense linen, and layered blackout curtains are performed acoustically well beyond what they do visually, and they need to go floor to ceiling. Curtains that stop at the windows frame are absorbing maybe 30% of what full length certain world. That extra length is not design choice, it's physics. Right now your windows might feel like they are just letting it dry light. After hanging heavy full length curtains, your room will feel enclosed in the best way, like the space wraps around you instead of bouncing off you. If you tried everything and nothing worked, this is probably why. Point 5. Bookshelves are secret acoustic treatment. A bookshelf filled with books of varying size creates an irregular surface that scatters sound in multiple directions instead of reflection it back in one clean house. Sound deficiency breaking up reflections rather than absorbing them. It's just as effective as absorption, and it keeps a room from feeling dead or flat. Bookshelves also add mass to a wall, which reduces sound transmissions. If you share a wall with a neighbor, or if you can hear everything from the room next door, a bookshelf loaded with books on that wall does measurable work. The key is variation books of different heights, different depths, object mixed in among the books, all of it robes reflection in useful way. A perfectly neat, uniformly organized bookshelf looks tidy but diffuses sound less effectively than one with variation. This is one of the rare cases where the lived in imperfect version of something works better than the style version. Point 6. Soft furniture absorb more sound than you think. An upholstered sofa absorbs sound. A leather sofa or a wooden bench reflects it. A chair with cushion observe. A metal or acrylic chair reflects if your room is feeling actually harsh. Look at how much most of full street surface area you actually have. If your seating is hard or even if it's upholstered but small, you may not have enough observative mass to balance the room. Adding through pillow real dense ones, not thin decorative ones, and a chunky knit throw on the sofa actually changes how sound behaves in the corner of the room. They are not doing nothing, they are working. Plants also absorb small amounts of sound, particularly large leafy ones with many irregular surfaces. They are not a primary solution but a cluster of plants in a corner contributes to breaking up the corner acoustics behavior. Point 7. The room corners are where bass collects. This one is more advanced but worth knowing. Low frequency sound bass tends to pile up in the corners of rooms. It's physically phenomenon called a room mode, and it's why bass heavy music, footsteps, or low voices can feel disproportionately loud or moody in certain rooms. You cannot fully fix this without dedicated basses traps. You cannot fully fix this without dedicated beds, traps, objects in a corner, a floor lamp with a fabric shades, a large plants, a floor cushion, or puff. Break up that corner accumulation. If won't eliminate the problem, but it reduces it noticeably, and it does it with objects that look like they belong there. And this one change alone, taking just one corner, can shift how your entire room feels. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Your room does not sound bad because of what you put in it. It sounds bad because of what you have not put in it yet. Every hard, bare, flat surface in your home is a surface that's still waiting to be softened, and every soft textures, layered things you add is not just decoration, it's treatment. It's your room finally learning how to hold sound it the way it's supposed to hold you. Sound design, it's a luxury. It is not for recording studios. It's for anyone who has ever felt like their home is almost right but not quite. You have been feeling the problem for years. Now you have the language for it and the fix. Pick the one tip that made something click for you so far. Do that one thing this week. Your room will feel different before you have done anything else. And there's the moment you will realize the problem was never your taste.